At events across the country this morning, the unions of the AFL-CIO observed Workers' Memorial Day to remember those who have suffered and died on the job and to renew our efforts for safe workplaces. This year, we are thrilled that once again the labor movement is able to lead by example as we break ground at Lloyd District Commons. This project will create hundreds of good construction, service, and maintenance jobs performed by the highly trained and expert union workers. Before we discuss the program, I'd like to ask everyone to join me in a moment of silence to honor all the workers who died on the job this year and in years prior. We have several speakers, so I'll be very brief. I'm very proud to say that union pension dollars funded this project, which is owned by the AFL-CIO Building Investment Trust. And I want to thank all our partnering organizations, the Oregon AFL-CIO, the Northwest Oregon Labor Council, the Oregon State Building and Construction Trades Council, the Columbia Pacific Building Trades Council, PNC Realty Investors, Legacy Partners Residential Incorporated. And on behalf of everyone here, I want to thank all the brothers and sisters who are building and will be building this project. I just can't say enough about your level of professionalism, commitment to quality, and attention to detail. Lloyd District Commons will truly be something that the entire labor movement can be proud of. Please join me in giving these workers a round of applause. Now, before I introduce our first speaker, very briefly, let me try to give you an overview of the project and the team and how these things come together. The AFL-CIO has a portfolio, or AFL-CIO Building Investment Trust has a portfolio of $4 billion of commercial real estate across the United States. Last year we celebrated our 25th year, July 1st, and we're coming up on our 26th year. As important as jobs and putting people to work, we also get very competitive returns on the funds. We hover very close to the national benchmark, sometimes outperforming, sometimes underperforming, but right there with all the major funds. It's a program we can all be proud of. Every person on this job will be a union worker. Every dollar that's spent on this job will be a union pension fund dollar, using our money to put our people back to work. That's an overview of the fund. Anyone who would like any more information, we'd be happy to fill you in on how we do these great projects. So I'll put that aside for a minute, and I'll jump right to our first speaker. Willie Myers, Executive Secretary Treasurer of the Columbia Pacific Building Trades Council.
Good morning, and thanks for coming today. From sports arenas to high-tech manufacturing zones, and from commercial office buildings to big box retail, local governments across this country spend billions of dollars every year to entice private business to invest in their communities and create jobs. Yet when these are done wrong, these public funds often help create jobs that pay poverty-level wages with no basic benefits. Often on these project, workers have to rely on government subsidies to help them with child care, health care, and they have nothing saved for their senior years when they enter into retirement age. It is inspiring when developers like BIT come along and set the bar for developers to live up to by requiring area standard wages and benefits on their projects. The skilled workers on this project will have wages that are at least equal to Oregon's prevailing wage. The skilled workers on these projects will have family health care. The skilled workers on these projects will have pension plans that will let them retire with dignity when they choose to retire. The skilled workers on these jobs will have training in job and safety standards. BIT recognizes that good jobs are an investment in the communities in which they choose to build. Thank you.
Thank you, Willie. Our next speaker is Tom Hughes, president of Metro.
Well, thank you, Mike, and good morning to you all. I ordered the weather special, but we got to get this underway pretty quick because it's only going to last for half an hour. This is a project that's really exciting. As a prelude to a project that may be even a little more exciting, I'd welcome to the lobby of our new hotel here under this tent. This is where we're gonna start building that pretty soon. The importance of this project, though, is manifested by the fact that it is being done with Union Pension Fund. Mike, I understand this is the first project in Oregon that the Union Pension Fund has done. Hang around for a while. We got a list of some others that we think will be good opportunities for you also, because that's the kind of economy that we're beginning to develop in Oregon, with projects like this leading the way. The other thing is, for years I spent out in Hillsborough recruiting companies to come into the area, and one of the things that I discovered early in that has followed through now as I've been president of Metro, is that we can sell this region by selling our construction workers. We have the best, most sophisticated, fastest, safest construction workers anywhere in the country, and we can put a building together better and safer and faster than anywhere else in the country, even when we require that you pay living wages and provide decent benefits. You still make out ahead of time if you go with the union contract workers that will be building this hotel and that built most of the stuff that we worked on out in Hillsborough, and that will also be building this project. So I want to congratulate you for another opportunity to put those skills to work, and another opportunity to help build for this community and to create more union scale, family wage jobs with decent benefits. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Tom. And I'm pleased to introduce Brad Avekian, the Oregon State Labor Commissioner, who just got here.
Well, thanks so much for inviting me to come share the morning, and congratulations on this terrific project that's been put together. And I want to echo the importance of not only the financing side of this project with the use of the union pension money, which is an innovative and a great way for us to start building things in this state again, but also look forward to the great work that's going to be done behind me here. We do have the most skilled and ready workforce that you can find anywhere in this country right now. There's a reason for that, and that's the union apprenticeship training programs that we have, continually putting out a skilled workforce that can put a project like this together. So once again, thanks so much for having me here this morning, and congratulations on a job well done. I look forward to seeing the end product soon enough.
Thank you very much, Brad. Our next speaker is Bob Tackett, Executive Secretary Treasurer of the Northwest Oregon Labor Council.
First of all, I'd like to welcome the Building Investment Trust of Portland, and on behalf of the Northwest Oregon Labor Council, thank you for choosing to invest in real estate and union jobs here in Portland. There's no doubt about having highly skilled workers like Brad has talked about. Well-trained workers operate more safely and help decrease workplace injuries and fatalities. And it's significant that we're here today on Workers' Memorial Day, where we recognize people that have been killed and injured on the job. But we have to do more. We have to eliminate the causes of these injuries and deaths. And that's something that we as organized labor are going to have to work on going forward, along with Labor Commissioner Avakian. So thank you again for being here, and we really appreciate the jobs.
Thank you, Bob. Next, I am pleased to introduce Charlie Hales, Mayor of Portland.
Well, thank you, and thank you all. It's a real pleasure to be here. And first, a special thank you for the thoughtfulness of having this event on Workers' Memorial Day. It's important that we remember those that gave their lives or who were injured because the job site wasn't safe enough. 40 years ago, when I was a high school college student, I worked construction in the summers. And there was a terrible accident at Tyson's Corner, Virginia, where a contractor was moving the forms up too rapidly on a high-rise concrete building, and it collapsed, and it killed a number of workers and injured more. And every construction worker in Northern Virginia, including me, were out there in the middle of the night with jackhammers trying to get those survivors out of that building. And I'll tell you, 40 years later, that memory is still very sharp for me. And I know it was for every single worker that was out there and every single emergency responder. And that's why in those outrageous moments we have to change the laws and require safety. But the best thing is when we have responsible contractors working with their unions and working with local governments and state governments to make sure the job is safe in the first place. And that's why this is such a perfect storm of good ideas. We've got responsible contractors, we've got PNC Realty Advisors, the Rimbold companies, Walsh Construction. Thank you for being responsible contractors and making money the right way. I sometimes tease a little bit about Portland and say in other cities, builders and developers get up in the morning and they throw open the windows and they say, how do I get around City Hall and make some money? In Portland, we've created an environment where people get up in the morning and throw open the windows and look out over the city and say, how do I make some money by doing the right thing? And that's exactly what's going on here. These folks are going to make a good return on this investment, the BIT and the private sector partners involved, and that's the way it should be. But they should make a good return by hiring union workers, working for responsible companies, pay a living wage, and make sure those folks have a pension waiting for them when they retire. And then the beauty of this is that now you're reinvesting those pension dollars in a city that believes in those values and where we're creating more and more opportunities like this one. Portland is living proof that the flight to the suburbs that started in the 1950s was a round trip. Investment and interest is coming back to the urban core all over the country, and especially here. That's why we're expanding the light rail system behind you to make this site better connected to the rest of the metropolitan area. So we're ready to work with you on more projects like this. We're so proud of this confluence of good ideas and doing the right thing for workers and for the people that will live in this building and for the community at large. Thank you. Well done.
Thank you for that, Mayor. Our next speaker is Kerry Nicholson, Senior Managing Director of Legacy Partners Residential Incorporated.
Thank you. I thought I'd give you just a little bit of background on myself and our company. We've had a continuous presence here in the Pacific Northwest since 1973. And our company's headquartered in Foster City, California, which is down by the San Francisco airport. I am the partner for the Northwest out of the Seattle region. And I just wanted to say that there's another kind of special little piece here that I wanted to bring out, which is that we have ties going back to our the Rimbold company, the local firm that we're tied with here on the development side. I think I called on Wayne in 1980 when I was a young loan officer with Wells Fargo. And over dinner a couple months ago, we discovered that my boss, our CEO, actually worked for Wayne in 1970. So it's kind of fun having these old ties, knit us back together again. I also wanted just to let everyone know that we actually this is now our second project done with BIT, where we finished up a roughly 200 project in West Seattle last spring, and we're now approaching 93-94% occupancy. So that went really well, and we're delighted to take that same model and come down here to Oregon and do a similar project. And we love where this sits. I think this could be a very catalytic project, coupled with this high-end hotel project. It's really going to just change this area dramatically. I must say, in a time where income disparities and the hollowing out of the middle class is kind of the almost day-to-day preoccupation all around the world, actually, not just here, that it's good to be associated with a project that does have those links to providing the kind of jobs that people can actually, take care of their day-to-day stuff and put away for the future, all those things. So very satisfying. We're glad to be part of it, and thank you very much.
Whoa! That's all right. Figured it out. Messed it up for you, Kevin. I'd next like to introduce Kevin McCarthy, good friend of mine and a great leader of the Building Investment Trust as president for PNC Realty Investors. Kevin, come on up, please.
Clearly not your jurisdiction. No. Morning. You know, as we stand here today on this day of all days, Workers' Memorial Day, I think it's only right that we started out with a moment of silence and reflect and remember those who weren't fortunate, those who didn't work on a safe job site, those who were killed, disabled, or made unwell by their work. Let's always keep those folks in our thoughts. So, you know, in talking about this, this exciting project, we should first consider how this investment was made possible. PNC is both the trustee and the investment advisor for the BIT, and I and my colleagues at PNC have a fiduciary duty to manage the fund, to manage it prudently, so that the men and women who invest in pension funds that invest with the BIT have a safe and secure retirement. It's never lost on us that the money we invest belongs to those men and women, and that it was earned as compensation throughout their lives, throughout many years of hard work. That compensation, it's not just our job, it's our sacred duty to make sure that those funds are invested wisely and invested safely. But our program, we not only work to ensure that money is invested prudently, we also endeavor to invest in a way that's in harmony with the core beliefs of the labor movement. The belief that workers should be paid a living wage. The belief that workers should have adequate health care and pension and other benefits. The belief that workers should be properly trained and equipped to perform their jobs, and the belief that workers should enjoy a healthy workplace where they come home safe and sound to their families each day. The great thing is, we believe that these things are also economically prudent and help the investment. A skilled workforce produces a project that is completed on time and on budget. A safe workplace means fewer delays and lower cost. Finally, as the old saying goes, the proof is in the pudding. If you look at our returns over the long term and you compare those to some of the Wall Street shops that don't have the same beliefs, don't share the same core beliefs that we do in the labor movement, you'll find that we stack up very well in comparison. So in closing, let me thank all our partners on this exciting project, including the Rembold family, Wayne and Callie, who shepherded this deal from a concept to this point. Our developer, Kerry Nicholson, and his team at Legacy Partners. We've had a relationship with Legacy going back over 10 years, and it's been tremendous. The team at Walsh, our general contractor, Mayor Hales, and all the great staff in the city, and most importantly, the men and the women of the building trades who are going to be out here, rain or shine, every day, sometimes into the night, making sure that this project is a terrific investment for all the stakeholders. Thank you.
Thank you for that, Kevin. Now, join me in welcoming John Moelis, Executive Secretary of the Oregon State Building and Construction Trades Council.
Thanks, Mike, and thanks to everybody who is joining us here this morning. We're very pleased that the BIT is choosing to invest in Oregon and in Northeast Portland. I think this area is on the cusp of getting ready to explode with some really great projects, and that's wonderful. The last 6 or 7 years have been very, very difficult for the building trades, so it's great to see folks going back to work. Unfortunately, that's not necessarily the case in too many places around the state. The rural areas are still really continuing to suffer. About 4 or 5 years ago, the AFL-CIO Housing Investment Trust, which is a similar fund, invested in a hospital project down in Coquille on the South Oregon coast. And it provided some really meaningful man hours for a very depressed part of the state that was probably 60% unemployed in the building trades at that point in time. So my message to anybody that's looking at investing in a construction project here in Oregon, come see us. Come talk to the building trades, come talk to the AFL-CIO, come talk to the folks that invest in our pension funds and build projects like this. No matter what you're thinking about building, no matter whereabouts it is in the state, It doesn't matter. Whatever you dream, we can build it for you on time, on budget, and safely. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Brother Molas. And last but not least, please join me in welcoming Tom Chamberlain, President of the Oregon AFL-CIO, and also welcoming Barbara Bird, the Secretary-Treasurer, who's here with us today. Where are you, Barbara? There.
Good morning, everyone. Today's always a difficult day because it's Workers' Memorial Day, and in Oregon we lost 46 workers last year. That doesn't take into account the hundreds of workers who lost their lives through occupational diseases. But you know, if you're a family of a worker, if you're a firefighter or a building trade, what you want is that worker to come home safe. And what's exciting about this project is it's financed by union, it's built by union, and there's an equation to safety here. When you invest in the building trades, you get a dedicated workforce, professionals. 2, ongoing training. These folks know what they're doing and they do it safe. 3, they know that they have to get the job done on time and under budget, that their contractors have to make a profit for them to get future jobs. That's an equation to safety. That's an equation to success. I want to thank all of you, the elected folks who are here today, the contractors, the workers, and most of all, I'm very proud of the AFL-CIO, the BIT, for the confidence in investing in Oregon, and all I can say is come back and we've got more. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much. We're going to get underway with the groundbreaking here, but I do want to thank everybody for coming. I want to thank the workers I see out there for coming. And I think it's clear that we got the right message across today, which is the true message. And it's what we're all about. We're using your money from your pension funds to invest in real estate, get a competitive return, and put your members back to work. It's really that simple. Don't let anyone tell you anything different. And we get competitive returns. And how come we're doing better than those funds that don't build union? Go figure. But anyway, that's what we're all about. Thank you so much for coming, and we can get the photo op underway over here. Be great.
Yeah, there you go.
I didn't wear the right clothes.
Oh, thank you, sir. Thank you.
Supposed to be doing
Good to see you, sir.
You sure there's enough?
Can we get some of you guys in a couple photos over here? Co-workers? Wow. What a lineup. We'll do us next. We'll get these out of the way, then I want to do one with all you guys. Come on up.
Yeah,
Well, let me get in there with my Taiwan hat. I'll take bring that stress home every night. That's right. You did too? You want to get the right here? Huh? I want to introduce you to.
Oh, here.
Turn it this way?
Other way.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. I had it backwards. You got one shovel in between here?
Yeah, here.
I can't go in either.
Got a shovel, everybody?
Yeah, there's
One
one
more
here.
over there?
There's one more.
Let's go.
Got Mr. Hughes.
Ta-da! Got a hat and a shovel. We can lift some dirt up.
Got it?
Oh, yeah. Hey! One, two, three, toss.
Toss.
All right, better do one more.
All right, one more.
You count?
Everybody ready?
Further again.
Hang on.
Get those.
Two, three.
Yay!